Much. So, hi everyone, and hi from Iran, of course. I'm Ramona Massoud from Standard Organization of Iran, and my conference is about heavy metals bioremoval by lactobacillus acidophilus in milk as a green technology. And I'm sorry, I don't know why my camera doesn't work. And I'm going to start my presentation. About introduction, and as you know, world industrialization is growing very fast, and it has adversely affect the quality of water, food, feed, and weather. The chemical industries, plus pesticides and fertilizers, release heavy metals to environment, which is a very big problem. And accumulation of heavy metals in human organs and tissues has caused some disorders in kidneys, cardiovascular system, and nervous system of our bodies. Then we have so many various methods which have been applied to remove heavy metals, such as ion exchange, chemical precipitation, membrane technologies, activated carbon, electrochemical treatment, and polymers. But as all we know, they are expensive and also not applicable in food industry. So the bioremoval of living microorganisms to remove heavy metals from the environment is a novel and quite efficient method. Of course, microorganisms such as yeast, bacteria, algae, and cyanobacteria are usually used for the bioremediation of heavy metals in food systems. So the main advantages of using microorganisms to remove toxic elements is that they are efficient, fast, cheap, and also being safe for human systems. And I'm going to talk about one of these useful and fruitful microorganisms, which is lactobacillus acidophilus, which is widely used in food industry, especially in dairy products. And of course, the advantages of LA, which is a short form for lactobacillus acidophilus, for absorption of heavy metals, are easy to use, easy growth, safe, and cheap. So this figure is short entrance ways of the toxic elements to food chain, and also the bioremediation process using beneficial microorganisms as the biosorbents or biosorbents. So as all we know, industrialization makes so many pollution, which leads to feed contamination. And after that, the animals, feed by these contaminated food, all their parts and organs of bodies going to be contaminated and polluted. So then we have food contaminations by heavy metals. As a novel technology, applying microorganisms would absorb these heavy metals, which I'm going to talk about in next slides. Then the bioremoval process will occur. So bioremoval is an absorption process in which heavy metals are attached to bacteria cell surface. The S layer in the cell wall of LA play an essential role in the bioremoval process. And they are responsible for metal absorption during this process, during bioremoval. As all we know, milk is the main part of humans' diet all over the world, containing many essential nutrients such as vitamins, amino acids, soluble lipids, calcium, sodium, potassium, and so many other beneficial materials. So different sources of environmental contaminations like industries, polluted soil and water, enter toxic heavy metals into the food chain, especially milk. So in regions of more chemical, petrochemical and fertilizers industries, higher levels of heavy metals have been observed. Milk contaminated reports in the world. Many articles reported milk contamination to heavy metals around the world. The maximum permissible limits MPL of heavy metals contents in milk, of course, considered by International Dairy Federation IDF, is like that: 2.6 microgram per kilogram for cadmium, 20 microgram per kilogram for lead, and 0.05 milligram per kilogram for mercury, and 328 a microgram per kilogram for zinc. Of course, all of them are toxic heavy metals for a human body. Table 1 shows the milk contamination by heavy metals. As we can see, the countries which are going to be red, which are red in the table, shows the higher heavy metals contamination and over the PML. Iraq, Spain, Italy, Iran, China, and Poland have reported these contamination contamination of heavy metals in milk. Then heavy metals by absorption in foodstuffs. Many scientists studied on heavy metals biodecontamination in dairy products have been done in recent years. It's a novel and interesting issue in food industry. And also table 2 shows some of these researches about bioabsorption in dairy products, which are going to be mentioned. As we can see, the microorganisms, lactobacillus acidophilus, Saccharomyces cerevisiae, then Clivoromyces and Lactobacillus lactis are used, have been used in order to remove some heavy metals in milk and kefir, which are showed in this table. The main conditions for absorption by Lactobacillus acidophilus are as the following: the bacteria concentration, contact time, metal ion concentration, and temperature. These 4 items are among the most main conditions for having a more efficient bioabsorption or bioremoval. First of all, we are going to talk about the bacteria concentration. The bioremoval is through the binding of heavy metals to the cell wall. And the bioabsorption occurs through a surface binding process that relates to the S-layer proteins of lactobacillus. So there is a layer on the surface of bacteria, which called S-layer, and the heavy metals are going to absorb and stick to this surface and then go out through the human body. By increasing the biosorbent concentration, the number of available sites for biosorption, of course, increases. The next item would be the contact time. The contact time is one of the main factors that greatly and gently influences the bioremoval. The metal uptake enhances by increasing in the exposure time, which is due to the attachment of more metal ions to La receptors in the S layer. And there are several articles that confirm increasing the heavy metals by removal by increasing the exposure time. Of course, the metal ion concentration will affect the whole bioremoval process. By increasing the number of metal ions, their absorption to La receptors would increase. And it is reasonable that by increasing the contact time, more metal ion would connect to La receptors in active groups in the cell wall. And so the bioabsorption process would be more efficient by time. And the next one is temperature. Temperature seems to be one of the most important parameters in the bioremediation of heavy metals. In the range of 15 to 40 degrees centigrade, the highest biosorption capacity for lead, nickel ions by La was observed, and the highest for these two ions was at 25 degrees centigrade. And the scientific articles report that the temperature range for heavy metals removal, the optimum temperature level would be between 20 to 40 degrees centigrade. And as the conclusion, using microorganisms and as environmentally friendly biosorbents for toxic metal bioremediation from food and water resources is a novel method. According to the recent studies summarized in this review, it is revealed that using different microorganisms in different food products could result in decreasing of metals availability in human body. And according to reviewed articles, using the starters in fermented dairy products can already be helpful in decontamination, as LA was mentioned. One of the bases of the results, it is suggested that using probiotics in starters in bioremediation can reduce the availability of heavy metals and toxins also in human body. And these are the published article, which is going to confirm this lecture, and most of them are going to be done by my team, the project team, and I, which all of them are about the bioremediation or biodecontamination of heavy metals in milk. And also these are the references. And thank you for listening and hearing me.